Hello everyone! In my last video, What Else I Saw in October 2022, I left in a little tangent about actor Richard Denning and his tendency to wear his sleeves rolled up. Go figure, that turned out to be one of the things that people commented on the most. So, I thought I'd make a follow-up video. Because why not? In case you forgot, or you missed it, or you're watching this video 2 years in the future, the tangent came about because I watched 1955's Creature with the Atom Brain, which stars Richard Denning. And going into it, based on other films of his I've seen, I just expected that at some point he would appear with his sleeves rolled up. But in Creature with the Atom Brain, while he did roll them up a little, it was a fleeting thing. By the end of the scene, he was rolling them back down. I was chagrined. Mind you, I don't have a particular thing for Richard Denning. I don't consider him one of my favorite actors. I've never had a crush on him. And I don't have a particular thing for his forearms or biceps. A button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up to the elbow or above the elbow is just one of those things that I find attractive on a lot of guys. I think it's an appealing, masculine look that, to me, signals serious work is about to get done, whether it's in the jungle, the desert, the garage, the office, or just around the house. Different things appeal to different people. I don't think giant pecs and washboard abs or big gnarly beards are hot, but I do have a thing for a good-looking forearm. So anyway, it was my impression that Denning did this thing a lot, whether it was his own choice or because a director or costume department asked him to. I associate the look with him, just like I associate certain other looks or habits with other actors. But after I posted that video and got that reaction, I started to wonder if it does happen as frequently as I was thinking it does. Obviously, I needed to do a little research. Richard Denning, born Louis Albert Denninger Jr. in 1914, accumulated 113 acting credits spanning from 1937 to his retirement in 1980. He appeared in a bunch of movies in the late 30s, mostly uncredited roles, and I don't think I've seen any of them. He had a small part in the Betty Grable movie $1 Million Legs, where he seems to have spent a lot of time in a bathing suit, and this image, which I always assumed was for a Tarzan screen test, actually comes from 1942's Beyond the Blue Horizon. According to the promotional material, he seems to have worn this outfit through most, if not all, of that movie. So clearly, he was not shy about letting studios exploit his physique. He started to pick up a little steam in the early 40s, but then war was declared and his career was put on hold. He enlisted in the U.S. Navy and served on a submarine. He returned to acting in 1946 and quickly landed bigger parts, co-starring and lead roles in low-budget war movies, adventures, thrillers, and action flicks. But still, the sleeve roll-up habit doesn't seem to have manifested itself quite yet. I did find this shot from 1947's Caged Fury, but this does not count because that's a short-sleeved shirt. There are rules here, and so that does not qualify. Also, his arm looks a little too veiny there for my taste. This might fit the bill, though. This is from 1948's Unknown Island, a movie that sounds like something I'd like to see, with people going to an island and finding dinosaurs there. So maybe this is the first time he rolled his sleeves up in a lead role, I don't know. Now, here's a picture from 1948's Disaster. The sleeve is not rolled up, but it sure looks like there's some heavy lifting that's about to get done, so it could be. There's definitely potential there. These are all obscure movies that most people have never heard of, so they're probably near impossible to find. In the early 50s, he won smaller roles in higher profile movies as he worked his way up the ladder, plus he gained national attention playing Lucille Ball's husband on the radio. And then he did 1954's Creature from the Black Lagoon. This is by far the Richard Denning movie I've seen the most, but oddly enough, he doesn't really do the sleeve thing here. Kind of hard to roll up your sleeves when you don't have a shirt on, and since I'm not convinced that his sleeves in this scene were long to begin with, this doesn't count. That same year, though, he starred in Target Earth, which I did a mini review of some months ago, and huzzah! He rolls his sleeves up here! I would say fighting back an alien robot should definitely be considered serious business, even if that alien robot looks as ridiculous as this one did. 1955's Creature with the Atom Brain, like I said, only has that disappointing little tease, but since his character is a married, pipe-smoking doctor, rather than an explorer or a diver or an adventurer working out in the hot sun doing dirty, dangerous things, it does make sense. Day the World Ended, though. Hello, how do you do? This is probably the movie where I noticed it. I mean, is there a scene in this where his sleeves are not rolled up? It's been years since I saw it, so I don't really remember, but I sure found a lot of images. There are other non-science fiction movies he made in the 50s, which I haven't seen, but I suspect his forearms don't make a significant appearance. I'm pretty sure they didn't in 1957's An Affair to Remember. It's not really the right kind of movie for that. Plus, he's not the one you're supposed to want Deborah Kerr to end up with. He has the thankless role of being not Cary Grant. But that same year, he starred in The Black Scorpion, which I actually saw before Day the World Ended, and there are plenty of rolled-up sleeves here. It's practically a smorgasbord. The Black Scorpion is an excellent monster movie, by the way. I'm going to review it sometime. I have no idea when. I think that's sufficient evidence. My position stands. I rest my case. Richard Denning did roll his sleeves up an awful lot. Even though in the 60s he moved from film to television, and many people remember him most as a recurring character on Hawaii Five-0, those half-dozen sci-fi movies he made secured his status as an icon in that genre forever. And while some people may poo-poo that, they're underestimating the long-lasting loyalty of science fiction fans. He may not have ever become a great star, but classic science fiction fans remember him. And speaking for myself, whenever I look up a movie and I see his name attached, I'm pleased and I have a pretty good feeling that I'm going to enjoy the movie. Plus, I think it's nice that he was married to Evelyn Ankers, Scream Queen, who co-starred in The Wolfman and a couple other Universal monster movies from 1942 until her death in 1985. And I like that he seems to have been a regular guy. He started acting as a hobby, he never took himself too seriously, and he had a positive attitude regarding his career. In his twilight years, he said, quote, "I'm very grateful for a career that wasn't spectacular, but always made a good living, or filled in between. I have wonderful memories of it, but I don't really miss it." He also said, quote, "I enjoyed everything I've ever done, and when I look back, I really have no regrets. It was a wonderful business." Richard Denning, everybody, 1950s sci-fi movie star with sexy arms and a class act. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.